to the Love FM, Insure FM, DBS Habitat Fair. It's taking place on Friday, next Friday, the 3rd of December, and it's going to run till Sunday, the 5th of December. Good afternoon to you, and thank you very much for your time with us here on Love 99.5. Now, for some time now, we've spent time to talk about housing, and we've dealt with a lot of issues relating to the housing industry. For those of you who want to build your own house, we've shared some information with you. And again, for those of you who would want to buy, again, we've shared some information with you. I don't know which level you've gotten to, but if you've gotten to a certain level and you've gotten stuck and you want help to complete your building, well, if you join us on the 3rd through to the 5th of December, there are companies and organizations that are going to be there, and they would help you. There are some financial institutions who will be joining us there as well. They would help you. You don't have the finances. They have the finances. They will help you complete your building, and then you take your time, and then you pay them in installments whilst you enjoy your facility. As I speak, it could be that you want the land to buy. We've talked about land issues already, and we have litigation-free lands that are on sale. And, you know, the owners will be joining us again at the Habitat Fair, and they'll be telling you where these lands can be found, how much they are going for. And these are litigation-free lands, so you can buy them and have your peace of mind. Again, well, maybe, for example, if you listened to us yesterday, we talked about roofing issues where, unfortunately, due to some poor works done by some, people, you may have leakages in your roofing. There are people who will be joining us, and they would help you trace where the leakages are, and of course, help you fix them. So a lot of conversation has, gone on. It could be that even as we speak, you're looking for decor for your home. It could be that you're looking for fittings, All these people will be there at the Kumasi City Mall between this the 3rd and the 5th of December as we have the Love FM, Insure FM, DBS Habitat Fair. We're going to continue with our conversations on things that we need in our various homes. So it could be that you are renting an apartment, but there are a few things that you're looking for to buy that will make your home more homely and more cozy for you. So, for example, Africa, Company Limited, they will be there. They've told you all the things they have, from lighting to air conditioners, everything you can think of, they have it available. We have Dunamis Plus, and they would also be there. They've got bulletproof doors and all manner of things or items that would also give you safety and protection and comfort if you have them in your home. So listen, don't miss this year's edition of the Love FM Habitat Fair for anything. Don't miss it for anything. Now, this afternoon, we have two key things in mind we want to focus attention on. Things that we believe is going to go a long way to help you, and they are necessities of life. In the life we're living right now, they are necessities. One has to do with water. Listen, I know of new areas, new sites where people have been able to put up something for themselves. But unfortunately, they do not have pipe-borne water. Water is not flowing. Again, they have not been able to, dig or sink their own well or boreholes. And, before, some time ago, I thought that it was a difficult and an expensive venture. Until you speak to the right people, you'd have that same thought or mindset as to the fact that it's quite expensive. It is not. And the kind of people that we're bringing to you within the 3 days of the Love FM Habitat Fair, they understand you, and they have packages for you that would enable you, if you completed your house, but you don't have water flowing through your taps, and you want to have your own, water source or water supply, they will help you. And we'll be telling you about the various types that are available. Also, one key thing for everybody has to do with power, electricity. Yes, it could be that you have put up your house and you're living in an area where you have power supply. But unfortunately, you and I know that for a very long time now, power has not been stable. Not just this year, not just last year. Power has not been stable. So it's always cool to have your own backup power supply so that in case the people to do their thing, you're covered, you're secured. So again, for those of you who will be joining us at the Habitat Fair, we have companies that will be coming through and they will be exhibiting the various power sources that they have that would enable you to have your own power at home. So Frank Abwajid Nyanza joins me once again here in the studios of Love 99.5. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, David.
And how was the education minister yesterday? And when you met with
him? Everything went on well. Yesterday? Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's G-Tech who organized it, Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. So we're just thinking about how the tertiary institutions could have accommodation. And you know what happened, I think, somewhere last year when the students agitated on high cost of buildings and stuff. We managed to put something together for him. So we hope that they would put it up as a policy document so the government can act on. But
did you touch on some BOTs?
Yeah. I mean, they have different types. So we the developers told them what we want, and we expect that the universities will also modify their form of entrenched agreements they've had over the years to suit what we want, and then we can have win-win situations. Other than that, the situations will get worse because every developer wants the high returns on his or her investment. So then you cannot force us to compromise. So we would want what we want. Then there has to be some compromise from both parties just to have a win-win situation.
Right, we'll make time and have a conversation on that. But this afternoon we're talking about the Habitat Fair. It's a couple of days away from today. It's on the 3rd to the 5th, and it's happening at the Kumasi City Mall. And for those of you who can, I would indulge you to, make time and be with us on Facebook and get to enjoy the conversation together. We've been doing this for some time now. We're just getting to the climax shortly. So join us this afternoon. You can get us live on Facebook on LUV 99.5 FM. LUV 99.5 FM. So that's how you can get us on Facebook. And join us there now and see what we'll be sharing with you. And you get to enjoy the conversation better. Now, power is essential, yet we don't have an uninterrupted power supply. And for those who are listening to us, it's not just about you building or you haven't built. Even if you are renting, you would want to have stable power supply. You would want to have a backup supply such that if ECG fails, you know that you are okay to just switch on something that will give you power. So when it comes to options, what are the options available? We have heard about, the solar. We know that some people will say, well, there are gensets or generators. Some people talk about the inverters and all that. You guys are the guys who are into the housing and all these things. What are the options aside from the ones I've mentioned? If you want to touch on them and expatiate and all that, I mean, let's talk about power supply to our homes right now.
Yes. So once again, good afternoon to our listeners and those watching us on Facebook. I would entreat that most of them go to join because these things are more understandable when you see them on when
you see the visuals.
Yeah, visuals on the social media page. Yeah. Of course. So, like you rightly mentioned, yes, there are different power sources to every home, and the one we mostly know is the public mains, which is the one you get from Gridco and ECG, which everybody would want to use because there are bills coming in and then you pay. But the rest will be the power inverter, which comes with huge backup batteries. So they have different kilowatts, and depending on what you would want to use at any point in time you don't have power in your house, I think that it starts from the smaller ones that could use just the bulbs. You have bulbs and say to be able to charge your phone. They have other bigger ones that can power your television. Then they have the huge one that can power your air conditioners and maybe the fan as well. But most of them are not really friendly to irons and kettles and stuff like that because of the voltage that those ones carry.
Has it not got to do with what you put together, what you build? Because I know that depending on what you want to, the kind of load you want to have on, let's say, the inverter, that is what you would get. So if you want to have, let's say, an air conditioner or the pressing iron or the water heater, it would depend on what you want to buy.
Yeah, so
and for those of you who have joined us on Facebook, we're showing you some of the inverters. Very simple. You can fix it in a very small place in your home, and then when the lights goes off, you can just go switch it on. Some of them are even automatic, but he's a guy who understands.
So this is what happens. Depending on, you can, during the installation process, you don't have to compromise.
Okay.
Just do everything just in case that in future you would need those materials. We don't know when lifestyles will change. So in the construction stage, make sure you fix the maximum. I mean, go for the bigger shot, which would include all power source, all power switches, including the air conditioners. So that in future when you need them, you don't have to go back to stage one and just be knocking on the walls just to create access for that. So what you do is that when that is done, then depending on your scale of preference and what you need urgently. So when there are lights out, the most pressing one is to be able to see something, the illumination. So it means that the lights are key, and that is the first one. Okay. So then few inverters can power bulbs, because these days we don't have the older bulbs that could take so many watts. This one, I think like between 3 to 5 watts is okay. And these are the ones that are available. So you can have the smaller power inverter with a backup battery just to be able to charge your phones, your laptops, and maybe to power the lights. But if you still want to go the bigger one, the higher you go, then the costly it becomes. Then the same applies to the solar. You see, apart from the public mains, which is the electricity, almost all the other power sources come with backup batteries.
So can we do a little more, on the inverters before we move on to the solar? Now, so you're talking about the fact that for people who would want to have the inverters built, you are saying that they should dream big. So in terms of the installation,
in the construction stage, they should try and fix all the necessary tubes that would be needed.
So what goes into it? So
if you want to
about
do
the tubes or it's about the cables?
The cables, the installation boards, the power switches, almost all of them, even including the DSTV cables, okay, or the multi-TV, whichever one you want to go for. You fix it right so that in future you can do it in every room, okay. So you have the wholesale power switch that contains everything. So when lifestyles change and you bring in an air conditioner, then there's no need for you to just go back to the basics and be knocking on the walls just to get access to put or install power cables for an AC.
So this is an example.
Yeah, this is an example.
An example of an inverter. And for those of you who have joined us on Facebook, then you can have visuals as to how it looks like. Surely we shall be showing you how it works. So, for example, if there is a power outage in your home and you want to turn it on, we'll show you.
This is the bigger one that supplies the whole house.
Okay.
So we have smaller ones that come with. I should have brought some to the studio though. It's smaller, it's handheld.
Okay.
And that one is it can generate power for 500 watts. So with 500, I would have to know the items that would fit into it. All I need to do is with the smaller one, I use the 21 plate battery. You know the battery, we have the 13 plate, we have the 15, we have the 17. So I use the 21 plate battery together with the inverter to generate the 500 watts. And with the 500 watts, I can charge my phone, get some about 3 or 4 bulbs.
What about the fan?
Fan, it can't.
It can't?
No.
Okay.
So depending, what
about
because
a
that's why every gadget has the watts that it takes at the back. So what you can do is to just read it and know which one it will take and not. If I want to use it to power the fan, then it means I have to stop the bulb and the phones
charging,
just to create that 500 watts for the fan.
So you can build it to suit what you're looking for.
Yes.
So you would say, for example, you want an inverter that would pick.
So we have the handheld inverter, and then we have the fixed one like what you are seeing on our screens.
Okay.
On Facebook Live.
Okay.
So when you go there, you would see it. So the handheld ones are also there, and that one comes in gray. So I've told you the smaller one that I use is generating 500 watts.
Okay.
We have the ones that can generate 1,000, 1,500, 2,000.
Depending on the load you want to put on it. So, for example, you can say that you want to have your fan on it.
Yeah.
You want to have a television on it, and then the bulbs.
So the more the load on the inverter, then you are considering then the number of batteries you buy to power the inverter. So there's a conversion from the I think the AC to the DC to AC. You understand? So the DC battery is what
that's a power source.
Yes,
that's a power source for
then
you.
it converts that one to the AC that comes out as a illumination or the bulb or the power that powers your gadget. So the higher the inverter, the more batteries you buy.
Yeah, and these ones, what I know of them is that unlike a generator or a generator that will make some noise, these ones don't make noises.
No, they only make noise when the battery is running down.
Okay.
Yeah, so that sound similar to when your prepaid card runs out. The same noise you hear ping is the same thing that happens when the battery itself, the battery, is running down. The inverter lasts long. Okay, hardly will it spoil. But all you need to do is make sure that the backup batteries always have. So what we normally change is the backup batteries.
At the batteries. So how durable would you say they are? How long lasting would you say they are? Because there are places where you go to and you realize that, for example, this is a new site, a new area. You get there, you don't hear the sound of a generator, but you can realize that some homes have power
to them,
and you don't see any solar panels on the roofing. So people sometimes wonder, what?
Yeah, so they are using the inverters.
Yeah. So tell us about its durability. Tell us
the
about
durability,
affordability.
Like
tell us about those things.
Well, I don't know those who are selling here, but I bought mine way back in 2007 in Dubai. Okay. And I've used the smaller one. I have it till today. So you can imagine from 2007 to 2021, the only thing I change is the battery. So the higher you go, then you buy more batteries to fit for the whole house, then you need a bigger one. So the only thing that spoils with the inverter is the backup batteries.
And again, you can decide to fix this one indoors.
Yes, it's indoors.
Indoors. Doesn't it?
So we have the movable one, then the fixed one. So what we saw was the fixed one, but we have the movable one which I use, and I can take it anywhere because it has the negative and positive cables that will be connected to the battery, and I can put it in my car and use it anywhere if I would want to. Get power for my.
So for those of you who are thinking having your own power source, so that for example, if ECG should fail, they sometimes will tell us that Gridco says we should knock off this a megawatt or that megawatt. You know that you are safe if you have your own inverters installed in your home. And if you join us between the 3rd and the 5th of December at the Kumasi City Mall for the Love FM, Insure FM, DBS Habitat Fair, you would have these people available to engage with, and you can have your own, power source at home. Can you imagine? Christmas is around the corner.
Yeah.
You have some friends visiting you, and then maybe you are playing some music, having some fun, and then foink. So when the power goes off, what would you do? But if you have an inverter installed in your home, you know that you're good to go. And trust me, sometimes, like I keep saying, until you engage with people who are into this business, you might think that it's something that is so expensive and it's so beyond you. But when you engage with them, you get to know that, Charlie, they are not beyond you.
One thing about building is that anything you would want has grades. Okay, so depending on your choice, what suits your pocket, you'd get what you want. That's why I said that let's go in bits, and then as time goes on, you can dream of getting something bigger. So if you have a simple 2-bedroom, I don't expect you to go for a bigger one. That's my advice, though. Then, when you have a bigger house, then you go for the bigger inverter. It goes like that.
And this one is one of the small ones.
No, this is a bigger one.
For this one for so you can install this one in the room.
Yeah, this installed in it's it has a stand just like the refrigerator.
Yes,
so it's a bigger inverter, mostly for either like institutions like multimedia. Exactly. Then you would want to.
So this size can power a whole house.
Yeah, it can power a whole house.
So for somebody who wants to have air conditioners working,
backup battery, which is a number of them. You understand? I mentioned the 21 place. They have bigger batteries. So depending on the size of the batteries, then that number will be calculated. Then it comes accompanying this inverter.
So there are experts who are available, and when you engage with them, they'll come and then they will make some assessment for you. And then once they understand and appreciate the load you'd want to have on the inverter, then they build it to suit you. This is another one.
Yeah, this is another one. This is a small one that is put on the
wall.
Exactly.
Maybe in your corridor, in your room.
Yes.
So when the power goes off, you can just
the garage. If it has a garage, the garage unit, or what we call the utility area, not purposely for anything, but just for gadgets like these ones.
And they work efficiently, trust me. And when you join us on Friday next week till Sunday, you'll be engaging with people who are selling all these things. So those are the inverters. And one thing, like I said, they don't make noise, so you're good to go. Let's now talk about the solar panels. And I don't know whether to say that gradually it looks as if people are moving from solar panels to the inverters. But some years ago, a few years ago, many more people were interested in the solar. I don't know what the situation now, but it still works.
Yeah.
And, if you put up your 4-bedroom or your 6-bedroom apartment or house, you can have a few panels that would serve a good purpose for you. So Frank, this is a big one. I don't know. This one is supposed to serve maybe a small community, huh?
Yes. So this is what you call it's just like the solar plant or manufacturing plant. So mostly for some communities or an estate community of about 50 houses can have something like this. Yes, so that's it. But we have the smaller ones which are movable. which these days are being sold in town for charging of mobile phones and all that. So they also come in grades just like the power inverter. So depending on the gadgets you'd want to have in your home, then you seek advice. Then we advise you on which type of panel to go for,
or how many of them
you would need. So most of them, and it's also this one. So solar is when there's sunlight shining on these panels, which will generate power for your home.
They store the power. So as
and
when you're using
this one too works in tripartite format. Once the power is stored, you still have backup batteries. So with external power, you cannot do without batteries. All of them, unless the generation set. I mean, with that one, there are new ones that you spark with batteries. So that is the nature of it. So
when you join us on Facebook right now, we have people who are installing some solar panels on the roof, and this is a house that is not too big.
Yeah,
it is not too big, is it?
It looks bigger. It could be more than 5 or 6 rooms. Looking at the roof and the side lawns, yes.
But like I'm saying, it's not too big, and yet they're installing solar
so
panels.
It also come, like I said, they have the ones 1.5 kVA, 2.5, 3.5, 6 kVA, depending on the gadgets
the load you want to put on it.
You have in your house. Then you'll be advised on the type of panel to use. So I'm sure this one, they would, because of the number in the house, that is why they are using more panels.
And Frank, one key thing that often people ask, and this is another small house, and they have the panels that they are about to install, and the person who owns this house, I'm sure, will be smiling all the time. Okay, I think this one has,
I think it's a community center.
because you can see the community administration, community something there. But again, bottom line is you have your own power source, so it makes you comfortable.
Yes,
knowing that no matter what happens, you would have your lights to sort you out. But let's talk about affordability again, because each and every time somebody wants something, but you ask yourself, can I afford it, or how affordable are they? Do you have an idea as to how much they cost?
Honestly speaking, solar panels are not really cheap. Because of the components that come with it. From experience, even the 1.5 kVA, which means that you cannot use an air conditioner, but you can use a fan, some bulbs, and then to be able to charge your phone, falls within about 2,000 to 3,000 Ghana cedis.
Oh, so let's say with 3,000 Ghana cedis, you can have some solar panels.
Oh, yes, you can have it.
3,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah, 2,000 to 3,000.
If you put a hold on the purchase of pizza for a while, or you reduce the data you use in doing all the TikToking and all those other things.
Yeah, but the movable ones, as I mentioned earlier,
in terms of the inverters.
No.
Even
with
the
solar.
Okay.
For standing fans and mobile phones, those ones are quite cheap. They're on the market, though. I know listeners know what I'm talking about. But the one for the household is what I'm talking about. The 1.5 kVA, which would use the fan, your bulbs, and then a television would be between 2,000 to 3,000 Ghana cedis for your home permanently. The only thing you need is the same backup batteries to be changing over time. And with the solar, the duration of change of batteries are not like the inverter. The inverter, the bigger ones, also last for some time. The solar, what I know is that you change them after a certain duration. Mostly, I think minimum is between 3 to 5 years.
But it depends on its usage, how often you use it.
Yes, the battery
if you don't use it often.
Yes, so definitely between 3 to 5 years, the 1.5 kVA, you'd have to change the batteries after the 5 years. And I think it's quite a good investment to do.
So listen, if you come join us on next Friday through to Sunday, you would engage with people who are into the sale of all this. We have talked about inverters that will generate power for you. We have talked again about the solar panels that could also give you power in your home.
And these days,
there are some places. One second. There are some places where people have completed building, but they don't have power supply to the area yet. You're told about meters not being available, and they don't want to do the direct connection for you. So you live in darkness. Listen, if you plan effectively, or even when you join us at the fair, you can speak or engage with financial institutions that would enable you or help you to be able to get the installation done, and then you pay in bits, and then you get to enjoy your facility.
There are other companies that are also installing solar panels, and taking, attaching the billing system to it. They are here in Ghana. Okay, and I know they will be at the fair. So what they do is that instead of the 2,000 to 3,000 I mentioned, they would rather take the cost, fix the solar panel for you, and then be billing you monthly. So when it gets to the time for change of batteries, they do it themselves. Okay. But you are paying just like you are paying electricity bills to them.
So it's cool, isn't it?
Whichever option you go for, there are people to also help you out.
It's cool. And again, you know, it cuts a lot of things for you. I mean, I don't know the stuff that people use in their homes.
Yeah.
And next year we're being told that if care is not taken, we might be doing some tariff adjustments and all that. If you have this, and you've bought the batteries and you're making use of them, you will be comfortable at any given time.
Yeah.
And this is a completed, you know, installed panel.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that the person who owns this house will be happy because we need to
yes, and this would give all the supply of power he needs including the house, the air conditioners and stuff like that.
And trust me, this time around, there are people who are knowledgeable about these things. Some years ago, some people will be doing some try and error, but this time around, people understand it. They've advanced in terms of the understanding of this technology, and so everything.
And look, I also think that you mentioned that those who are dealing in household equipments are also coming in. There are some equipments that are friendly to these other power sources,
other than inverters,
exactly,
or the
including
panels.
the iron and televisions. There are some television that when you use a solar power, it wouldn't come on. But there are some that are friendly to these ones. So when you're buying gadgets, just know which of them would be able to use these sources so that you don't waste your money.
Okay, so the ones that take electricity and of course can also take the inverters and the solar panels. So those are options that are also available for you. And listen, join us on Friday, next week, Friday through to Sunday at the Kumasi City Mall for the 2021 edition of the Love FM, Insure FM DBS Habitat Fair. You'll be glad you did. I don't have solar panels. I don't have solar panels. I don't have inverters. I did a program somewhere, got some money, and I bought myself a generator.
Of course.
And I don't use a generator anymore, especially in the evening.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. There was a day that during the Doomso era, when Doomso was rife, and some ladies from US had come to Ghana, and they were doing something on KNUC campus. And some people went onto the compound and turned off the generator. So they were wondering why the generator was off. It was around 7:30 p.m. getting to 8 p.m. They were wondering why the generator was off. So they felt it was maybe fuel that was not enough in there, or it was a problem. They opened their doors, they came out, and they wanted to check the generator. Apparently it was armed robbers.
Wow.
So they robbed them and raped them as well. So ever since that time, if the light goes off and it's after 7 or 8, forget it. I'll be in the darkness like that. But I'm contemplating seriously to have, an inverter. And so when I join the fair next Friday through to Sunday, I'll be having conversations with people who'll be exhibiting some of these things. So be there with us as well. It's not just about inverters. It's not just about the solar panels. There are things you may need. And all the people who are joining us for the exhibit or for the fair, they have decided to give discounts. So when you come, you benefit from the discounts as well. Frank, let's talk about another necessity. We cannot do without water.
Okay.
We cannot do without water. I mean, water is essential. But unfortunately, in many situations, people who have built houses, especially in some new areas, have challenge with water supply. Some who are fortunate enough have supply once or twice a week. So depending on the day that the water flows, you'd have to wake up at dawn, look for some 4 gallons or barrels or whatever, and store some water.
Yeah.
It will be cool when you have your own water. And we have said that we're going to be open and sincere. I recall when I was done with my building, I didn't have water. And so I would call on the Ghana Water Company people, and they'll come and supply me water in my tank. That was serving for like 3 weeks.
Okay.
All because I thought it was that expensive to have somebody drill water for you. But one day I was bold enough and I said, listen, just engage. And the amount that was mentioned, I was like, so there are occasions when you don't take the initiative, you don't move, you don't ask questions, you only get the answers that you require or you need. So join us at the Love FM, Insure FM, DBS Habitat Fair, and it's all about everything housing. from the land acquisition to the decor, to everything about the housing. That's what we're talking about. So, Frank, let's talk about the types of wells that are available.
Okay, so the water sources. Then we have the one from the public mains, which is the Ghana Water Company, which is built. I mean, if you are lucky enough and it's extended to your area, because developments in Ghana now have exceeded the reach of the Ghana Water Company. So most of us find ourselves at new sites where it has not gotten there yet. So then your options are limited. Yeah. So the first one is whether you go for we have the hand dug well. Okay. The hand dug well. Then the next one will be the mechanized borehole, which one will be an improved technology on the hand dug well. Then the other one is a drilled mechanized borehole. So there are two. So
you haven't seen
there are two different.
The hand dug well before. There's one on our Facebook page right now. Go check it out. Where to start?
Yeah. So what they do is that they dig a hole to a certain depth, and then they place the culvert pipes that we use for bridges into these holes, and because of the sediment rocks underground, they dig to an extent that they hit the bedrock, and whenever you hit the bedrock, water starts coming. So if you find yourself at a place where there's already water in the soil, then definitely you start seeing water as and when you dig, even after about 10, 12 feet. Okay, but there are places where it's difficult. You can dig several times and you don't get water. Then you should go for the mechanized borehole. We have two types. We have the one with the bigger machine. Okay, when you come to the fair, I'll tell you the cost, because if I say it right now, they will start calling. The bigger machine digs up to a depth of about 180 feet. Then the smaller machines digs up to a depth of about 120 to 150 feet.
Okay.
It comes at different costs, though. So depending on your area. So those who dig these boreholes would advise that instead of going for the smaller depth, go for the longer one, so that in case of anything, that we know that we are digging until we hit the bedrock.
And this one is the bigger machine.
Yeah, this is the bigger machine.
This is the bigger machine, because I've seen the smaller ones being used to dig, and they are as effective and efficient as these big ones. And so join us on Facebook and get to appreciate what it is again we're sharing with you. And so even if you live in an area where the Ghana Water Company's water hasn't gotten to that area, a couple of you can come together, contribute some resources, some money, and then build, dig a borehole and then supply to your homes.
So let's advise. These days, people have already built and now trying to do the mechanized borehole. And it's difficult for these vehicles or machines that carry the machines to enter their premises because of the design of their entrance, the fence wall. So what you do is that all is not lost. If you think that you've already walled your building, you've done the security post in such a way that bigger trucks cannot enter, the only thing they can do is to dig the borehole outside your fence wall.
Okay.
And then we have a system. When you come, I'll tell you that nobody can touch it, or thieves cannot remove the pump.
The pump in there.
Because that I've suffered that before. I think when I was doing the project for the Barclays guys, I dug the borehole and it was not rightly protected. So by the time I went, thieves have gone to pull the pump, and that one, it had gone to a depth of 180 feet. Whoa. I was shocked how they were able to do it, but
you had the rope thing.
They are taking the pump out.
You
see, and sold it to. And you see, the pumps do come with different voltage powers.
Okay, so speed. Hold on for me. So you've never seen how it's dug before. Yeah. We're showing it to you right now on Facebook. Just go check it out. This is a bigger machine. Exactly. The bigger machine that is being used, and this is going to go down to 180 feet and all that. Go check it out for yourself on Facebook. This is how it works. But there are smaller ones.
Yeah, there are smaller ones
as well. That's also used.
That will go about 120, 150 feet.
Frank,
but
so
we advise.
Can we say that for people who live in new sites who have put up, let's say, their houses, 4 of them, 3 of them, 2 of them can come together?
Yeah, they can come together.
We're contributing.
Yeah, I did it in my estate. 4 houses can come together and do one. The only thing you would need is a reservoir, which is the tank. Okay. So once you make available
for each person's home,
either each person's home or 2 big ones that will supply on a daily basis to the various houses. The only thing you need is to share the power cost.
Yeah.
So then you apply for power or meter for the borehole, and then when the cost comes,
this one
you
is
pay.
not a big. This one is not.
It's something that is easy. You can collaborate and do it within an area.
Yeah,
it's not a big
because
deal.
I know people who would, when they're leaving home, they have gallons at the back of their vehicles, and they'll fetch water, place it at the back of their vehicle. When they get home, then they pour it out. The next day they bring the gallons again. I mean, stress.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes we all suffer that those times, but these days you are free. You see,
that's
so it's good. It's good you do it. But if you think that this one is too expensive, then you can go for the hand dug well with an improved system of the mechanized borehole. With that one, once the hand dug well is done and the water is clean, we just rope in the pump and then get some tank and then it pumps into it. So we have different types of pumps for the purpose.
I agree, but Frank, I don't think that in this day and age we still ought to.
Oh, it's been used.
I know, but I'm saying that in this day and age it's quite cumbersome, and you know that sometimes looking at the size of this hand dug wells, you know, some people, if kids don't think, some people have falling inside. Quite
no, so with this one, it is not the one that you would want to fetch the water from. It is the one that has been mechanized, but it's a hand dug well.
So you use that?
No, you don't pump it. You narrow. You know, like I said, there are different types of pumps. The one that you are using for the drilled borehole, the pump is different from the one that you use.
I know, but what I'm saying, the hand dug well, definitely the surface area is quite wide.
Yeah, it's covered.
It's
These
wide.
days it's covered with
wide,
concrete.
but they do with concrete. They leave some hole up there as well.
Yes.
Some people will put some covering on it with a padlock and all that. Exactly. But you know how kids are.
Of course.
You know how kids are. It's quite dangerous. Yeah. But with the mechanized one, the way it is, very simple, very small.
Yeah. That one you can't enter.
If I don't show you where it is, you can see.
Yeah, people do it in their grass area within the compound.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But because of course, like we are all not
Frank. So that's what I'm saying.
There yet.
I'm saying come together. Four of you. You have a neighbor who has also completed his house. You have another person close by who has also completed.
So there should be collaboration within the various communities.
Come together.
But this is where we find ourselves as, I don't know whether it's blacks or whatever, but per our nature, everybody wants to be independent.
In business,
so, in everything.
Everything independent.
It's not right, you understand. And you know that one area, they're all suffering. But instead of them to come together, like you're saying, just to get one mechanized borehole that would have some pipes diverting this water to each house, they will not do it. Yeah. Maybe they don't know, so we are educating them. It's possible. Come to us for the idea at the fair, and we'll help you out.
I said something a while ago. I'm going to repeat it. From afar, you might think it is expensive, but when you come close and you engage with people who do these things, you get to understand and appreciate that. So join us at the Habitat Fair, the Love FM, Insure FM, DBS Habitat Fair. Join us there and speak to people who are into the mechanized borehole drilling. But once you have dug these holes, I know people who would say, Frank, that they've dug it all right, but they're not comfortable drinking from that source.
Why?
So some of them will still buy bottled water, sachet water.
What's their reason?
Sachet water.
To treat it?
Sachet water. And I ask myself, the sachet water that you think you are cool with
is from a mechanized borehole. All of them.
And who says you have treated it to your expectation or satisfaction? So once it's dug, what next? Because I recall when I did mine, for example, I had to call people from the Ghana Water Company. They came in with some chemicals.
Yeah, they came to test.
So they tested it for me and they told me what I needed to do, what I needed to avoid, and what. So I drink from that source, and I've been drinking from that source for 8 years.
And the first test they had, did they say anything negative about the water?
First test, yes. The first test, yes. But I think I was to blame because I wanted to treat the water, and so from the place that I bought the treatment stuff, they told me to put some in the dug well. And I put some again in the polytank. So that's why I say I be brave. So when they tested it, the color was so whatever. So they gave me advice and told me how to go about it. Yeah. And I've been fine.
So look, naturally, God is wonderful.
Okay.
And try and taste the first water that comes out, and you would testify that God is super, because the sedimentary rocks under there has already sieved this water beneath the bedrock.
If that is so, why is that?
Most of them.
Why is
it depends if
when
the surface
they allow it to flow for days.
I'm coming. So I'm telling you, it depends when it's coming out. The surface of your compound. People have clay compounds. Others have, dusty compounds because of the nature. Then the water will mix up with the water when coming out.
Okay.
But when they do the first digging and they're able to push in the pump, not all of them spend days. For the water to flow, not all of them. The one I did,
in terms of flowing, to have clean, clear water.
To have the clean, clear water, not all of them. With respect to my site, it was just within the same day.
Okay.
The water was so clean. Then they placed the pump in it, and to date they are using it. So depending on your compound, the soil type within your compound, then it would mix up with the water. You think?
So are you saying that?
So
already,
the natural nature of the arrangement of the rocks where the water is coming from has already sieved it. If you know how a filter is done, that is the way God has structured the ground. So after that, assuming without admitting that the nature of your compound does not allow clean water to come, then you need to fix filters on the way to the poly tank. So you'd have one entering and one coming down. So you can fix two filters. Others have 4. The filters alone will just change and make the water clean for you.
But
and the other side is you can engage the experts to come in with these chemicals. You have the alum and chlorine to make sure that it is treated in the tank.
Not underground.
No.
Why not underground?
In the tank.
Why not underground? Because
the underground.
I buy some.
That is why I was giving you the explanation that the underground is done when it's with the hand dug well that you are mechanizing it. You see, the hand dug well accumulates the water to a point before the pump pushes it up onto the poly tank.
Yeah.
Good. So with the hand dug well, it stores the water like a reservoir. You can treat it in there before it's pumped into the tank.
Okay.
But with the mechanized borehole that takes the water straight from the ground, it has to go straight into the tank. And because you can't see it, it's better to use the filters on its way on the PVC pipes to filter the water before it gets into the tank.
I understand.
But regularly, you need to clean the tank as well.
Yes, I understand that. But my concern is there are people there are tablets, small tablets.
Oh yes,
that we use in treating.
Yes, there are tablets.
Well.
And I'm asking, that are so.
And I'm saying that those tablets, are we supposed to put them under the ground or they're supposed to be in the poly tank?
It has to be where the water is stored before you use.
Yeah.
So if the water has 2 ways, if you have it in the well before you are pumping it up, you can decide to treat it in there before it goes into the tank. But to save yourself of trying to also get a cleaner tank, then the best way is to rather treat it in the tank before you use. So the immediate storage before use is where the treatment is done.
Okay. Well, I hear you.
You understand now?
Oh, I do.
Yes. So it is appropriate that if the water is flowing from the tank before you drink it, you use it for washing or whatever, then the treatment needs to be done at that part, which is in the tank.
Well, I put mine underground.
Yeah, because it stores the water before.
Yes. And so once it's there, after let's say an hour or 2, I know that it might have dissolved. Then I pump. So
it means that
it treats it for me.
So yours, and then the initial one was the hand dug well.
No, it is the mechanized one I'm talking about.
But it shouldn't have stored the water around the pump.
You're not getting what I'm saying. So you realize that the mechanized one with that small hose, that space, that small one. Once they dig, there's water there. So you realize that even when you open the lid and you put the medicines in there, you hear the tablets going in there, and then you hear them dissolving and making some funny noise.
That is what you are doing.
So it's not the hand dug well. Okay. It's mechanized, but you put it in there, and then you can do 2 months and China store that.
Okay.
So after a while, when it's dissolved, then you pump.
Okay.
So once you pump, it goes to the tank, and the one is coming down from the tank. It has filters.
Okay.
But we're learning.
So what we have done,
we are learning.
So what we have done these days is that you, the owner of the house, you don't even have to get access to where you got access to. Your interest is the water coming into the tank. So what I've done is that I've concreted that part, and I can only see the pipe and the pump making noise, but I cannot put tablets in there for no reason.
You know, they have this cover. This thing that they
so you were being inquisitive.
So
the best way is that you treat the water, the immediate storage before use, which is the tank.
Well, if I have a tank that is as high as mine, you expect me to climb that high thing.
But they have stairs. What we've done has stairs. So we engage the experts.
Thank you very much.
It's just like fixing a DSTV, a satellite dish which is not working. And you, instead of engaging the experts, you decide to go and climb your roof. You will fall down. It's not your job.
I will speak to experts again on Friday next week to seek better clarification and understanding.
It is not your job.
Whether what I'm doing is right or wrong.
No, so it's not your job to go up there to do it. Get the expert. And they have, with the tablets, they have one that cleans the tank. So that within a certain duration of time, the water that comes out should not be used. And then when you pump the new one and becomes clean, then you start using it. So let's try. In the outside world, we call them the handymen. Okay, they are experts in all we are talking about. Try and engage them. Other than that, if you want to be a jack of all trades, my brother, my sister, you will fall from your rooftop. I remember a friend told me his DSTV is not being connected, and for some time now the signal is off. If I could advise, and I told him that the problem is coming from the whitest thing at the tip of the decoder. At the tip of the dish. The dish is okay. It's called the LNB. Okay. And it is only the expert that can reach there. If he tries, he will die.
Mami money ejuma. Udanya ye fe.
Mira me da say. Na esomo ye no na aka o.
I know the anyine ho.
week, if all goes well, we would open the phone lines and take all your concerns and of course all your questions relating to housing and of course about the Love FM, Insura FM, DBS Habitat Fair. All right, we'll take every question you have. Let's go onto the phone lines right now and speak to some amazing people who would also be with us for the 3 days fair. And I'm talking about Dunamis Plus. They're on the lines right now. Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Baby.
And how are you doing, sir?
We are blessed and highly favored.
We thank the Lord for his blessings and his favors upon your life. So we've got some days to go for the Love FM, Insura FM, DBS Habitat Fair. How ready is Dunamis Plus? And Dunamis Plus has a lot of stuff available. And if you join us on Facebook, we're showing you some of the things that they have in store, things that they'll be bringing to us to see and to buy at the fair. So how is preparation like for the fair?
Okay, Mr. Baby, before I begin with, I'd like to say a big good afternoon to all your listeners and to all our customers. And all the people around Ashanti region and in the whole Ghana as well. Dunamis Plus is a well-known company who import doors and other products from Turkey. And then we are ready, fully prepared, and then also we are well organized to deliver and render our services to customers who are ready to come to the fair.
So run us through some of the items you'll be bringing for the fair and tell us about if you would be having discounts for people who will be buying from you.
Okay. First of all, we have the high-grade security Turkish doors. We also have the bulletproof doors. We have interior doors, which goes in the two parts, as well as two models. We have the PVC doors. These doors have the resistive power to stand fire for 2 hours, and also is weather resistant. And they also have the wooden side, the wooden part, which is the wooden models. We also have the wooden models as well. We also have a bedroom set, and we also have furniture, all imported from Turkey. Yeah, hello.
Yes, I'm listening to you, sir. So you're telling us the things you have in store, things that you'll be bringing to the fair. And like I said, people would like to know whether you'll be reducing or giving them discounts because people are interested and eager to buy. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
So-
Sorry. Like I was talking about, I said we have high-grade security doors. That is from Turkish security doors. We also have
we had the security doors. You have the bulletproof doors and all that. I know also that you have some bedroom stuff. You have beds. You have dressing mirrors.
You have bedroom sets, which comes with a bed, comes with a wardrobe, also comes with a buffet, high vanity, sun mirror. We also have the makeup table as well. It's a package which makes up the bedroom set.
All right. So once you have whet our appetite, we want to know whether you'll be giving us discounts. For us who will be coming to buy, will you be giving us discounts? And how what is the discount going to be like? How much discount are you giving?
Yes, please. We have a discount package for each and every one who comes to our doorstep to buy our product. That is 5% discount, running from now to the end of the year.
I see. So even after the fair, when they come to Dunamis Plus, your offices at Atinga Junction area, they also have that 5% discount till the end of the year. That's what you're saying?
Yes, please.
All right. So thank you very much for joining us this morning to share this afternoon. Actually,
before then, I would like to drop a contact if anyone would like to call.
Okay.
For inquiry and for business.
Okay.
You can call 0242 174287. 0242 174287.
All right.
And then 054 9038 727. Wholesalers and retailers are all welcome. You can come on board, we will deliver and give you the best for business.
All right, and that's Dunamis Plus we engage with. Call them on 0242 174287, and you'll be glad you did. They have discounts that's running till the end of the year, and they'll be at the Kumasi City Mall for the Love FM Habitat Fair that starts next Friday. Thanks very much, sir, for joining us, and we'll be talking some more before the event itself, all right? All right, so that was Dunamis Plus who joined us on the phone line. So, Frank, we've heard from some of our exhibitors, and I'm excited about the discounts that they're talking about. It tells me that for those patrons who will be making their way to the Kumasi City Mall for the 3-day fair, they're going to have value for money, and of course, they're going to have things that would meet their pockets.
Yes, and I think that they should do. Though they are trying their best, I think our people also want more, and I believe
more discounts.
Yes, more discounts.
So maybe 10%.
More discounts. And with the more discounts, I'm sure they would come in their numbers. So yes, I believe they are doing a good job, and most of them, even with the land sales, should have it. I told you would be trying to set up a small place for land registration, of which I think we've been able to put. We call it a land bank to put together some lands within some districts in Ashanti region. When they come, our target is mostly the civil servants. I mean, teachers, nurses, security agencies. Just come, let's know you're a salaried worker, and we can give you a good deal for some years to own a land. And I think they would have something to laugh about when they leave the fair.
Something to smile about and all that. Well, thank you very much, Frank Abwajide Nyansa, for your time. Tomorrow we'll continue our conversation in terms of the build-up to the Love FM, Insure FM, DBS Habitat Fair. A lot of things are going to happen on that very day of the 3-day event at the Kumasi City Mall. Be there, and you'll be glad you did. It's now time for us to join the BBC for some news, after which DJ Ruben will drive you home safely on Drive Time on Love. Good afternoon to you.
To be made up of renewables by